Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about how to create a webinar in less than 45 minutes. So here's an easy way for you. For those of you that are creating content already, that have stuff already that you can see in Google Analytics or you can see in Facebook what's performed well already, you can just convert that into a webinar, right? I talked about in the past, there's a person over here, her name is Shalene Johnson. She does, she used to do a lot of live, Facebook videos, and she converted the topics that worked into webinars, right? So think about the stuff that you can repurpose. I've talked about the content reusage workflow by Aleda Solis, so you can go ahead and Google that. But think about what you can repurpose. I literally just did this 2 days ago. I took some of the elements that I like from certain blog posts or certain kind of podcast episodes I've done recently, and I made it into a webinar. That's how you can easily do it because you've already done the work already, right? Or even if you don't have any content at all, you can just go to BuzzSumo, that's B-U-Z-Z, Sumo, S-U-M-O, buzzsumo.com. Look at whatever topics that have performed well in the last 12 months, in the last 6 months or so. And then from there, pick the elements that you like, read those articles, read presentations on SlideShare, pick the elements that you like, make it into your own, and boom. Before you know it, you got a webinar.
Yeah, and as Eric mentioned, repurpose your content. If you don't have content, you can use BuzzSumo, or a simple strategy is also to go to SlideShare. Webinars tend to be presentations. They do the best. You go to SlideShare, go see what's the most popular presentations out there, and you can do something similar with YouTube because a lot of YouTube videos are instructional, and you can end up creating better versions of that copy or content or similar versions of it, and you can end up using that on your webinar. So now that you got the webinar content part figured out, you need to figure out how you're going to transition people into a lead or a sale. So let's say you got your content. You want to do at least 30 minutes of education, and then you want to get into a pitch. The pitch can last 15 minutes, 30 minutes max. It doesn't have to be too much longer than that. And after you're done with the information, you want to transition with, hey, did you like this information that I gave? Awesome. Would you like to hear about something else that may interest you as well that can teach you X, Y, and Z? And get their permission first. Eric, why are we asking people for their permission when we do this within a webinar?
Well, because they get engagement.
That's right. And when someone's engaged, they're much more likely to buy or become a lead. So now that you got that from people, then you want to go into the pitch. You want to talk about your product or service that you can offer that can help them do whatever you just educated on faster. If they can do it in a faster or more automated way, the conversions tend to be really high. If you just do a webinar on marketing and then you're pitching someone on some business related product and it's not related, the conversions aren't going to happen. So your offer has to be very relevant to that specific tactic. So to be very specific, if I just gave a pitch webinar on SEO and I talked about 30 minutes on how to get ranked higher in Google, my pitch could be like, you love the information, want to know about a way to do this more faster and automated? And then they say yes. Oh, here's the software that can do it. It does it for you. You don't have to do any of the work. And best of all, it only costs X dollars. And normally you can see the value and why it would be worth $1,000. Well, because you're on this webinar, I'm going to give it for you for a very discounted price. And that price is usually half or 1/3. And don't just make that up. It really has to be discounted. And you'll tend to get a ton of signups and only make that offer available for people who are on the webinar. And Eric, so let's say someone's not selling a product. And let's say they're selling a service. After they do the webinar, how would you go and collect leads?
Yeah, so you can say, well, you can make it very simple. You can have a lead magnet, right? So it's a downloadable. Or you can just say, hey, we're offering this service for a discount or, for the next 5 or 10 people or so that actually sign up for this, we'll give you something additional on top, right? So that's how you can get people interested. With service kind of stuff, typically it is a little more difficult, but here's the thing. Some of our biggest clients have come through webinars that we've done in the past, and we've built a lot of good relationships that way. So don't sleep on webinars, even if you're a service-based business, because they do work.
Yeah, and one more thing. Eric recently released a tool, and he started doing things where it was discounted for the earliest people who signed up. What were the results? Did it work really well? Right? Because he's pretty much saying do the same stuff in your webinar.
Yeah. So basically what we did was we said, okay, we're pre-selling this right now, but for the first, let's say, the first batch of people before this deadline, we will give it to you for this price, right? So you can, as a service business, you can offer, this, you can say, hey, like, we'll do this free audit for you for, until this date, right? But you got to sign up by this date for a free consultation or something like that. Then when you establish some kind of urgency, it's like what we talked about in the past. When you establish urgency, people are going to take action. And usually on the last day or so, you're going to get a lot of these stragglers, 50% or so that end up signing up.
Yeah, you also want to, at the beginning of your webinar, make it where you're like telling them, hey, if you stick to the end, I'll give you some sort of bonus. Because if people leave, and most of them leave within the first 5 minutes, you'll find that you're not going to have enough people who are going to be there for your pitch. So give them something away at the very end. And as Eric mentioned, you can collect leads from that. If you're scheduling calls and you're selling a service, plug it in with schedule once, because you don't want just people to be like, yeah, I'm interested in your service. You want them to schedule a time. You'll get more people on the phone, which will increase your closing rate. If you're selling something on the webinar, like a product, and you're having a deadline like Eric's mentioning, have a countdown clock. Using Webinar Jam or EverWebinar, whatever one you decide to use, you can actually put countdown clocks in there, so it helps create that sense of urgency.
Great. The final thing I'll add is, there's a couple tools out there, but if you want to get started doing free webinars initially, you can definitely just use Google Hangouts, or, if you want to pay, you can use Zoom. That's zoom.us, or you can even use GoToWebinar. And then if you want, to crank out landing pages quickly, you can use a tool like Lead Pages out there. So those are just a couple ways to get started with your first webinar. We highly recommend it. We both do it in our businesses. I'm about to, crank those back up in, January, basically. So that's it for today. But before we go, we have a giveaway for you. Just go to singlegrain.com/giveaway to learn more, and we'll see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.